Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Andy in Singapore. For today's video, we are going to do a full review of the Citizen Series 8, which I unboxed a few weeks back. So as I've mentioned in my unbox video, this is like the second or third model coming out from the entire Series 8 model line. So the model reference for this watch is 890 and features this inner rotate bezel. So on first look, you might not notice. You would think it's just a regular kind of rehaut or chapter ring, but it is indeed an inner rotating bezel operated via the 2 o'clock crown here. Released in March this year, the 890 model features 3 different colorways, and the one I'm reviewing today, reference number NB6066-51W. This one features a very special limited edition copper pink dial, and it is sort of inspired by the Sakura cherry blossoms. The official word from Citizen is that this is copper dial, but for me I think it's more like salmon pink. Alright, so anyway, it is really good looking. Bit of information on the Citizen Series 8 watches. So this line, this entire model line Series 8, it is sort of a higher end mechanical watch from Citizen, and of course by looking at the watch here, you will see that it is heavily inspired by the Genta design. We are talking about integrated bracelet, faceted look design, not so much of curves and all that. Alright, it's all hard edges and really 70s kind of look. And of course, we've got the octagonal bezel here. Of course, the Series 8 watches, when they were launched 2 years ago, many fans were quick to say, this is like a copy of this and that, copy of the AP, copy of the VC, copy of the short part, copy of everything, copy of Tissot, depending on which one you've seen first. Alright, so there's no denying that we've got serious influences and inspiration coming from Genta designs. Alright, there's no use denying it. There's very little original design coming from this watch, but I think it does have its own charm to it. Alright, I'm not a big fan. Okay, I'm not a big fan of the entire Genta look, but I think this watch is very, very well executed, very well built. Let's zoom in and take a closer look at the Series 8 890 model with the Sakura pink dial. The bezel size here, from left to right, we're talking about the bezel. It comes in at 40.5 millimeters. So this is not a really big watch. Alright, it's a sports watch. Alright, as with all integrated bracelet design, they are almost always called integrated bracelet sports watch. Alright, so talking about the bezel is not too big, but with the bumpers and the crown included, we've got the bumpers that sort of remind you of Nautilus. So with the bumpers here, it comes in at around 46 millimeters. It's got a crystal size of 34.5 millimeters. So this will give you a good idea of how big the watch actually is. We've got a total thickness of 12 millimeters, measuring from the open case back to the top of the flat sapphire crystal that sits just proud of the bezel. I'm not going to give you the L to L measurement because it is integrated bracelet design. We don't really have real actual lugs, but do bear in mind that despite having a female end link, alright, so this female end link here does not articulate. So in actual effect, it works like a male end link. Alright, so just have a look here. There is no movement or articulation on this last link here. Alright, so the female end link sort of negates itself. But the good thing is, the end link here sort of slopes downwards aggressively, and it will not present any problem when you're wearing the watch on your wrist. Not so much of lug gaps or lug overhangs. The Series 8 is powered by Citizen's 9051 movement. So this is a higher beat movement, 28.8K, and I would say on paper it's got better accuracy than the entry level 6F series movement, I think. The movement is also decorated. I wouldn't say it is decorated to the highest level. So looking through the open case back here and also through the protective film, you can see there's some stripes going on the bridge plate movement itself, and also on the rotor, which has the Citizen logo text sign on it. Alright, so not too shabby, not the best, but I think I can see some sort of effort that Citizen's putting into decorating the movement. And I would really think that this is like the counterpart to the Swiss-made 2824 SW200 kind of movement, on that level. Now this is a brand new watch on loan from our boutique. Totally brand new with all the protective stickers still on the watch, even the tag is here. I really need to take some time to thank Eric and his family for so kindly and generously loaning me all these watches for my videos. Thank you very much, our boutique. At the time of this video, this watch has the street price of around 1,600 Singapore dollars. As mentioned earlier, you can definitely find this one from our boutique. And now let's move on and talk about the overall case design as well as build quality of this watch. Alright, so when I unboxed this watch, what struck me was I immediately felt that this is not your entry level type of Citizen or Seiko mechanical watch. Alright, so it doesn't feel like it is 800 to 1,000 Singapore dollars. Alright, so this one here really fits the price. Alright, so for the street price of around 1,600 Singapore dollars, this is very, very well built, very well executed. Okay, so even under macro lens, we can see that the overall brushing and the execution is really, really good. So we've got a really nice bumper here on the 9 o'clock zone. Again, this really reminds me of Nautilus, and we've got these little screws here. No confirmation if they are real, actual screws. Okay, I don't want to waste time getting out my tiny screwdriver and test such things, right? This is a brand new watch, so I'm trying to minimize usage of the watch. Alright, so I'm loving the overall mostly brush finishing on the watch. The brushing here is really good, and it is not nice on the outside or on the areas that you can see. So for most watches, especially if you're buying, like example, a Seiko diver in the 1,000 category, $1,000 zone, you will see very good finishing on the outside, but once you go to the inside of the bracelet or under the lugs and all, you'll see that the finishing here is visibly different. But for this one, the Series 8, I dare say the finishing is as good. Okay, so no difference at all for the finishing on inside and outside, and we also have really nice polished bevels all around the bezel as well as at the lugs here. Also worth noting that we've got much nicer clasp here as compared to a lower end Citizen. So when I reviewed the Barnacle, the titanium watch, I don't recall seeing this type of clasp or buckle. This is twin button trigger type of release, and without the ugly flip lock and all. And we've got a really nice curve on the scissor. So the overall execution and finishing, I think, is just excellent, although I would prefer to have a more pronounced taper on the bracelet. So over here it goes down to around 20 if I'm not wrong. Alright, I think if it goes down to 18, I think it will be a nicer look. Now let's move on and talk about the star of the show today. Obviously this one with limited edition Sakura Cherry Blossom Dial. We have to talk about this dial here, which is just fantastic. Under macro lens, it doesn't show much weaknesses. I think this is really well done, right? The power of CNC manufacturing these days, and the light play here is just amazing. Alright, so almost to the point where it is too reflective and too bling bling, and I think it might affect legibility just a little bit, but overall really nice dial color as well as texturing done on this dial here. Even the bezel here, which doubles up as a rehort or chapter ring, it is really well crafted. No backlash, no back play or anything like that. Just fantastic operation here via this 2 o'clock crown. Very smooth. Alright, no clicking, but the movement here is very smooth and it feels very precise. So I'm not a big fan of the handsets. Well, I think they look very simple, very legible. Alright, nothing would go wrong with such a design. So looking at the intersection here found in the watch hands, I think they remind me of cigarettes. I'm not a big fan of the look here, so just have a look. If I turn the watch this way, this one here, the minute hand looks like a cigarette and the hour hand sort of looks like a cigar. I don't know. I'm not a big fan, but I do like the black frame and bordering on the hands. Okay, so sometimes if these things are done too shiny, overly shiny, I think it will affect legibility a little bit, and Citizen has done the right thing in using a black frame for those hands. Now let's check out the lume on the Citizen Series 8. I would say this is right up there on par with any of the divers that Citizen has, and even the lume plots, they're not too small. I'm actually surprised at the level of lume here that's applied on the Series 8. I think, true to the word, this is really a sports watch, right? So lume quality here is pretty amazing. Zooming out for a wrist shot, you can see, despite this one being a slightly bigger watch, it does not wear comically big. There is no lug gaps, or rather minimal lug gaps. And this is largely due to the fact that the case is flat or straight. No curves due to the design language of the watch, or this angular faceted design. Alright, but due to the slope downwards, the aggressive sloping downwards, there is no lug gaps. And overall the watch does not look comical, but I do feel that the watch is slightly heavier at around 176 grams. I think could pose a problem if you're wearing it on a daily basis. May feel a little bit too heavy, but does look really good. Let's also do a quick size comparison between these two Citizens. My 4020 washi dial here just woke up from hibernation. Alright, so upon coming into contact with light, it sort of scurries into the actual timing. Alright, that's the beauty of this movement here. So here you can see that these two watches, they are totally of different sizes. We're looking at a 40 plus millimeters watch here compared to a 37 millimeters case size, and difference here is quite evident. And we also have a slightly more aggressive tapering here on my washi dial. And we also have a comparison between these two watches with integrated bracelet designs. We have the PRX 35mm compared to the Citizen Series 8. Again, the difference in size is day and night. Alright, big versus small, father versus son kind of thing. And these two watches have the same design language, flat, angular sides, faceted sides and all that. And this is what I'm talking about throughout the video here. So a more aggressive tapering here on the PRX sort of makes the watch easier to wear, not to mention making it lighter. Alright, and Series 8 on the other hand feels a little bit too heavy. In summary, I would say the Citizen Series 8 890 model is a really cool addition to the model lineup, but as it is, I'm not too sure where this entire model line is moving towards, because it is sort of in the mid to high range. This one comes at around 1500, around under 2000 Singapore dollars, and we have many different choices. Now even a Tissot PRX is much cheaper than that price point, so I'm not too sure how this is going to compete against the more affordable watches. And to be honest, I think the design here is a bit of a mishmash. Nice execution and finishing all over the watch, but I can't stop thinking that this is like a mishmash of various iconic designs. Of course, we've got the flat link bracelets, integrated bracelet design, and then we've got the octagonal bezel as well as all these bumpers and all that. Then we've got the hands, the markers and all that that's taken from some diver look. And even this 2 o'clock crown, I think, is from Royal Oak Offshore and that kind of thing. So or Aqua Timer, kind of old design diver. And furthermore, it's not an affordable watch like the Suyosa, which comes in around $500. This is like 3 times the price. So there you have it. That was my full review of the Citizen Series 8 890 movement. This one here has the Sakura copper pink dial. So I feel that this is a really nicely built watch, good finishing, etc, etc. But I do feel that in terms of design language, it is going nowhere. It's sort of a neither here nor there kind of thing. So let me know what you think of this watch. Leave your comments in the comment section below, and maybe we can share our ideas and feelings on this watch. Alright, this is Andy in Singapore. I'll see you next week for more watch review videos together with George and the orange Rolly Polly. See you soon. Bye.